Welcome to the Fasting Podcast, Wow, Wellness and Optimal Weight. I'm your host, Julie Phillips, certified natural health professional, and this is episode 99. Do you need less of these during fasting? Now, what are some of the things we might need less of? Our previous episode talked about what we might need more of. Well, believe it or not, first thing I want to mention is supplements. If we're having an outstanding, varied, organic, and natural, excellent diet, then many of the supplements we're used to taking from over the years may not be necessary. So just take a good close look at them. Let your food be your medicine, and some supplements are phenomenal. Some may not be needed. What about maybe we need less sweeteners, even the natural ones? Obviously, we don't want to do any of the artificial sweeteners because those are toxins in the body and can cause all kinds of bad reaction. But believe it or not, even some of the natural sweeteners have their possible drawbacks. Now, when you're choosing something like stevia, there are all different types of stevia, and there are many products out there that claim to be stevia, but they have all these other ingredients in them like maltodextrin. And not only that, people that are allergic to ragweed, if they take too much of this, they could have a problem with that. So there's question mark. I recently listened to a presentation where a doctor with a tremendous amount of experience said that if you are consuming even natural sweeteners like stevia and honey, these can stop the body, he said, from letting go of toxins and toxin-laden fat. So that could be a deterrent, he said, and that was a little wake-up call for me because I do use stevia, good, organic, natural ones without all the extra ingredients in my herbal teas. Just be careful of those sweeteners and definitely stay away from the artificial ones. How about less table salt? That is really a terrible thing. You probably already knew that, but pinkish organic sea salt, Himalayan, there's other brands you can get, are phenomenal and very important, especially while you're fasting. So the pink good sea salts are really an attribute, and we did a previous episode about that. Maybe we need less fats. Now, obviously, we need to totally avoid the trans fats or hydrogenated and partially hydrogenated fats, which can be like plastic in the body. But even people are getting carried away sometimes with way too much natural fats. And they are taking so much fats that the body is not letting go of the toxin-laden stored fat in the body when people are thinking they can eat unlimited fat amount. So keep an eye on that, especially if you are trying to lose stored fat, including visceral fat. And remember, you can be high in visceral fat even if you're very ultra thin. What about maybe we need less meat, especially the kind that have hormones, steroids, and antibiotics. But even the natural meats are a lot of wear and tear on the kidney and liver. They're typically quite a bit of calories, and there's an episode that we talked about possibly using some pure vegan protein isolate that's from plants. That's much easier on the kidney and liver, much more digestible, much more absorbable, even for the digestive challenged. What about maybe we need less energy drinks, specialty coffees, smoothies, and other drinks where all these hidden calories and other type of problems can occur, including carbohydrates and chemicals? Definitely, we need less of and zero plastic bottled water unless that's all we can get our hands on, because German researchers did tests on 18 of the most popular plastic bottled water brands, and all 18 brands had approximately 24,500 different chemicals, which can hinder water getting inside of the cells, and they also impacted hormone receptors, androgen hormone receptors for the men, 90% interference, and estrogen hormone receptors, which even men have some of those, 60% were pure tap water had zero effect on the hormone receptors. And the plastic bottled water has chemicals called malleates and fumarates, which can be a link to risk of tumors and can signal growth. So definitely stay away from plastic bottled water. We've done more than one episode on water and hydration. Some people are going way overboard on way too much water, thinking it's great, even though they don't weigh that much, drinking a gallon or even much more than that per day. And typically in natural health classes, they teach over and over the years, even a big giant person that weighs many pounds doesn't need more than 100 ounces unless they're super athletic or sweating it out type of thing. But you can actually flush your trace minerals, and those do many things in the body, including escorting water inside of the cells. So purified tap water, I have my favorite by far. It also has extreme purity plus molecular hydrogen, a major health benefit that is totally worth checking into, and you can contact me if you wish. And the type that I like even offers energy. For example, you could select, I want energy for parasites to go in the water I'm drinking, and let the frequency flow through the body. Very interesting, very unique. Now, what about too many people are using creamers? Even some natural ones can be a problem. The creamers are often got mercury if they're commercial creamers, and we definitely want to avoid those. What about dairy? Dairy can be really an allergen. It is also something that can be very mucus forming, and it can also be a deterrent from losing stored fat. Other people are going to say, at least I do organic dairy. In fact, any inorganic food and drink, especially if it's junk food, is something we absolutely need less of. Here's something we might need less of: number of meals and hours eating during the day. I personally think that 2 meals a day is ideal, and maybe a 6-hour eating span might be ideal if you do like intermittent fasting, and you could let that hours span from close to lunchtime to about 6 hours later, so you're hitting a dinner time, so it makes it easy to eat out. But if you eat from morning till night, the body has to deplete what you've eaten and drank for energy as it becomes available. Then it goes into your stored glycogen, excess carbs and sugar in the muscles and liver, and then it's able to break down stored fat, and you better watch out that you protect your muscle with sufficient assimilable protein, because the body can break down the protein simultaneously with the fat. So you want to secure your muscle mass and other vital organs with protein, and then force the body to burn the stored fat. Another final thing that's super important that we really need less of or need to control is stress. So that's a real big one that impacts the adrenal glands pumping cortisol hormone to lay belly fat and cause all kinds of inflammation in the body if it's excessive. So that's a big thing we need less of. And that's a lifestyle change and choices. I know that was a lot. You might want to review last week's episode 98 of what do we need more of during fasting, and this one, what do we need maybe less of during fasting, and even in general, whether we're fasting or not. For questions and suggestions, contact me, Julie, at jpwowprograms.com, and please refer others. If you want to check out our website, it's www.jpwowprograms.com, and there's a weekly blog and some of our favorite WOW natural products. Stay positive, focused, and determined, because where the mind goes, energy flows.